Hi! I'm Josh.
I'm Liberty.
And today we are talking about Ralph Breaks the Internet. Long awaited sequel to Wreck-It Ralph that everyone was so desperately asking for.
That's the relationship between Penelope and Ralph is really good. Like the best friendship that Disney has ever done, to be honest.
But what was interesting is I don't think many people were asking for a sequel. And so I was a little worried when it came out, especially when it had pretty much the same plot as the Emoji Movie, at least on a surface level.
Yeah, when the trailer dropped, everyone was like, oh no, Emoji Movie 2.
But it was fine.
It wasn't really good with Disney standards, but it wasn't bad. It was like Frozen level.
I liked Frozen.
I liked Frozen until it became overplayed, but the quality of Frozen and the quality of Ralph Breaks the Internet are kind of on the same there. Because they had a lot of good qualities, but there were some plot elements that dragged it down a little.
I think it did manage to justify being a sequel. It didn't feel like they had to really stretch for a plot. They clearly understood the characters well enough to really think of a genuine story that might happen in their near future. So I totally bought into it.
As always, the world building is pretty nice and the world design is also really pleasing. Compare how the internet looked in the Emoji Movie to how the internet looked in Ralph 2.
The Emoji Movie split everything up into little sections. I can't believe I'm actually analyzing the Emoji Movie, but it split everything into apps and each app was its own little world. Whereas Ralph Breaks the Internet, it feels like everything goes outward. Everything is expanded and it is as crazy and chaotic as the internet, but there actually is a genuine structure to it.
Emoji Movie, all these apps just existed to be there for product placement. Ralph Breaks the Internet used the product placement actually pretty well. It didn't just go into the app to go into the app.
They talk a lot about eBay, but it is relevant to the story. Do we describe the story?
No, we have not.
Wow. The plot of this movie is Ralph causes an incident in Sugar Crush.
Sugar Rush.
Did I say Sugar Crush?
Yes.
We're gonna back that up a bit. Ralph causes an incident in Sugar Rush. It causes the game to be unplugged, and so Ralph and Vanellope go into the internet to find a new wheel for the game so that it can be fixed.
The subplot, it didn't really need to be there, but I appreciated it.
What subplot?
Felix and Calhoun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that little tiny thing.
Also, why aren't they married? They're both obviously gay.
They got married at the end of the first movie.
But they're both obviously gay. I did not realize how gay they were until this movie, but it's very obvious. Maybe that's why they're such great parents, because there's no sexual tension. You and I should parent some kids.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to spoilers. Go to the time code at the bottom of the screen if you want to avoid spoilers. They kind of pulled a Pixar on us. The story has this driving MacGuffin force. As it goes along, you start to realize that it's becoming about something completely different. I think that is really cool.
Well, they were pretty ham-fisted with the friendship. You're my friend. I'd do anything with my friend. You want to change your life? No, I'm pretty fine with it just staying the same forever. It was showing the divide pretty early on.
But the way it ends up going was not where I expected it. I was expecting the story to become about trying to find new things in your life, but it really ends up becoming about how Ralph needs to let Vanellope go. I also loved her song.
It was just nice to poke fun at Disney itself. The people who were making this movie knew what they were doing. They knew what to do with the internet. They knew how the internet worked for the most part. They knew the old stuff of the internet, hence the graveyard, which I really liked.
I will say though, this is a solid movie, but I didn't love it. A large part of it is just because the sequel didn't need to happen, and even though they came up with a justifiable reason for it to happen, the entire first half, all I was thinking was, okay, where's this gonna go? I don't know if I can trust this yet. And eventually it did win me over. But it did take a little bit of it away from me. And even though the product placement, they do handle some of it well, a lot of it is still there.
Yeah.
Specifically the Disney princess bit.
That was a little hard on the references, but it was also funny. The designs were really nice.
Yeah.
They did interpret the traditional style into CG really well.
And also the segment where Ralph gets internet famous.
Yeah, that really dates it. Yes, could have actually been a villain in some world. Could have easily been the YouTube algorithm.
For a movie that takes place so much on the internet, it has very little to say about the internet.
Yeah. They knew what they were doing. They understood the internet. They just didn't
Yeah.
commentate on it. I liked a lot of the design choices. Some of the jokes, half of them worked, half of them went on for too long or didn't work. It is good considering what's been coming out in animation.
I think it deserves the Golden Globe nomination for Best Animated Film that it got. I think it's one of the weaker ones of the nominees, because it's up against Isle of Dogs, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Incredibles 2.
Catch me with that Disney bias, though.
Yeah. Shall we go to final verdicts?
Sure.
I really don't have much to say about Ralph Breaks the Internet. It was a sequel that didn't need to happen, but it did a good enough job at justifying its existence. I thought it was solidly enjoyable from beginning to end, and it did manage to pull a surprisingly emotional twist in its final 30 minutes, and I really enjoyed that. It's set amongst the backdrop of the internet, and it doesn't really have much to say about the internet, and it also does product placement well, but it still does product placement. Basically, the problems that are there are handled well, but they're still problems, so I'll give it a 6.
I think this is probably one of the best Disney sequels if you're thinking about it for real. A lot of them are pretty bad. I do like the character design. The plot did have a few errors, you know, it was pretty slow at the beginning, just trying to slowly build it up and have some jokes that went on way too long. This guy got jump scared during it though.
I remember I did, but what part was it?
The bees. You got jump scared.
My gosh, I hate bees. I mean, bees, like, they're fine, like, they pollinate stuff, like, save the bees, yeah, they're disappearing, I get all that. I just don't like bugs. They scare the crap out of me. I did not enjoy that moment.
They did take jabs at internet culture, but not really say anything about the internet as a whole, you know, the corporations and all that stuff. But it is one of the better Disney sequels. I'd give it a 7.
All right. So the final verdict for Ralph Breaks the Internet is a 6.5. If it is still in theaters and you need a movie to take your kids to see, not the worst option. So, what did you think of Ralph Breaks the Internet? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Be sure to comment below and let us know. Also, follow our Instagram account. Also, follow my Letterboxd account. Also, subscribe to our channel. Also, hit that bell. Peace out.
out.